Hey everyone, so it's now Thursday, it's actually 4:30 already. I don't know if I mentioned, but I went on a school trip with Brooke today, so I am exhausted. This morning was a bit of a rush because I had to make sure that I had all of my lunch, all of her lunch, and like all the extra stuff that I needed. So I'm gonna combine today and tomorrow just so it's not like really short. Wanted to talk about what I've eaten because I just didn't have a chance to show it. So I had my Cheerios for breakfast as I normally do, and then for my lunch I made a sandwich with the Quorn turkey and sage slices with the red pepper and spinach slices, and it was so good. And I just made it on normal bread. And then I had some bites, sweet chilli crisps, a cheese string, apple, and then one of these as well. So I'll have all of the macros as normal linked or listed down below. But at the moment I am at 873 calories, so I still have 790 calories left, and I feel like I am starving because I've probably done so many steps today. I am absolutely exhausted, like I literally cannot even begin to say how tired I am. I really want to go in the gym tonight, but to be honest I just have got no idea if I am. If I feel okay then I will, but I was going to do legs, but I think I'm just going to do like chest and triceps instead. I don't know what I'm going to have for my tea. I think I'm feeling like I might have soup. I think with just a bit of bread. 100 calories just for half a tin, and that's what I normally have, just half a tin. So I'm not sure. I'm definitely in the mood to like have a takeaway, but I said to John already that is just not going to happen tonight. I'm really not in the mood to feel bloated or put on weight or anything like that. Yeah, I'm probably going to make some soup. I don't know when, because I feel like if I have it now I'll be hungry later. So I don't know. I'll let you know when I do have it though, but right now I just want to tidy up some stuff because I feel like we left the house in a bit of a mess this morning. So I'm gonna just do a couple of bits, do some washing, all that kind of boring stuff. And yeah, I really don't know about going to the gym tonight. I do really want to go, but I am just so tired. So yeah, if I do go, it'll just be chest and triceps, and then if I end up having tomorrow off, then it's not the end of the world. So I will catch up with you at some point later on. So I decided to go with the soup. I've just got half a tin though, because I generally find that that's enough for me, and then I've just got one piece of bread. I think I am going to go to the gym tonight. I think I'm going to go to the gym at work and do legs, but just do like all machine legs, just because my upper body does feel really sore from the last 2 days of working out. So I think that's what I'm going to do, which kind of makes me think that on a Monday I should do like squats and deadlifts and things like that, but then on a Thursday if I'm going to do legs again, keep it like off upper body. I think that's probably a good thing, because normally by now I'm like, by today during the week I'm just exhausted. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and then even if I end up going on my own, it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. I'll do a little bit of treadmill as well, but I might do like a slow 10-minute rather than like a HIIT sort of thing. So yeah, so I'm going to eat this, and it's only 5 o'clock now, but I'm hungry, and then I'll be able to have like my pre-workout and my BCCAs and things like that. So that should be fine. And then I've got some calories left, so if I'm hungry after the gym, then I could have like an apple or something like that. But it's not the end of the world if I don't have anything. So yeah, so I won't be able to film, unfortunately, if that's what I end up doing. If I end up doing something else, then I will. But like I said, I'm going to combine today and tomorrow, just so it's not like ridiculously short, and because I feel like I've not really shown you anything that's worth it. But tomorrow I probably will have work. I'm not 100% sure yet, I need to check. And John's normally home early, so we might end up like, we normally end up going out for tea tomorrow, but because of my calories and things like that, I'm going to be a lot more like strict with what I eat. But that's why I wanted to weigh myself on the Friday. So tomorrow, as in Saturday, you should be getting my like updated weight and things like that. I will say now that, you know, I'm not exactly happy with my weight, but there's just nothing I can do about it. There's no point in getting upset, you know. I can think of every excuse in the world as to why I haven't continued losing weight and things like that. So yeah, it just is what it is, and I just want to give myself a bit more of a fresh start. And I feel like doing it like this and just looking at it this way and not trying to force myself to follow a certain thing, as in like low carb, low fat, all that kind of stuff, it's just, it gets too much for me, because then as soon as I'm in the position where I have to choose foods when I'm out and things like that, I just fail, and then I just end up putting on a weight. And I feel like that's exactly what's happened. I wouldn't say that I feel like I've put on a lot of weight. I like to think that I have put on a bit of muscle, but I'll know tomorrow when I do my like muscle, body and water and all that kind of stuff. So if I don't see you again tonight, I will see you tomorrow. What's the matter? What do you want about? So it's now Friday, and I said that I was going to combine yesterday and today just because I feel like yesterday is going to be like so short. I'm just having some toast. You don't like it? That's okay, you don't have to eat it. I'm just having some toast for my breakfast.
It smells nice, but I don't taste nice. What?
It's a bit different to normal brown bread because it's got like the seeds and stuff in, so that's probably why she doesn't like it. I've done my weight this morning, and I have taken pictures as well this morning, so I'll be able to go through that a bit later on tonight. Not only do I want to show like my first ever picture, but I want to show the picture that I took last as well, because I can't remember the last time I actually showed a picture. I don't even know if the last picture I took I've even shown, just as another kind of guide so that you can see over the last like few months what's been going on as well. I mean, I'm not happy with it. I'm not gonna like, you know, pretend that I am. Probably gonna cry when I talk about it, but you know, there's not really anything else that I can do apart from try and change things, which is exactly what I intend on doing. Hopefully I'll get back a decent time from work and I'll be able to sit down and talk to you about everything. So obviously I'm still going to continue filming everything that I'm eating today. When it comes to the weekend, I think what I'll probably do is try and like Snapchat most of what I'm eating, just so I can show you how I kind of extend it over the weekend, because I fully intend on being, if anything, extra careful at the weekends, because that's when I tend to go off the rails a little bit, and then it slowly starts to kind of follow into like the week, where maybe I've got stuff left, or you know, if I feel like, oh, I haven't put on that much weight, or if I don't even really gain any weight at all, then my eating just slowly starts to kind of keep going bad, and that's exactly what I don't want to happen. It's another reason why I wanted to kind of weigh myself on a Friday, because then, if anything, I'm not going to allow myself, you know, tomorrow and Sunday to eat bad. Today, obviously, is probably the day when I would give myself a little treat, but I still want to keep it in my like calories and my macros as much as possible. Obviously with my macros, I've just more used them so I don't kind of go like way over something, and I'm not eating like a ton of carbs or a ton of fat or a ton of protein compared to other things. I still want to keep everything quite balanced, and I think it's been working quite well. I will catch up with you later on today. So it's like 1 o'clock now, and I'm just having a cheese string, and then I'm going to film my kind of weight update and pictures and everything like that. And I'm just kind of studying the pictures now because I want to talk about them more in depth. I'm going to compare the last pictures that I've got on here that I took, which was in March to now, and then obviously compare the first like pictures that I ever took as well. But I'm going to eat this. I did also have a vanilla latte at work, so I've put that in my phone and my macros, and then I'm having this because we're probably going to go out for dinner, so I just want to allow myself a little bit more calories, and it's my weigh day anyway, so if I'm going to not necessarily treat myself but have like a bigger meal, then it's going to be today. So I'll eat this and then I'll catch up with you in a minute. So a couple of things before I get into this video. I'm sorry if I'm looking down a lot. I've got my laptop in front of me because I want to look at some pictures of like my before and afters whilst I'm talking about all this. And my bed looks messy because I just have the like duvet cover. I don't actually have the actual quilt because it's way too hot. So it's really difficult to get it to look flat. And it's a little bit annoying because it looks messier on camera than it does in real life. I think the shadows are picking out weird. Anyway, so I talked about reintroducing my weight loss diary videos, but doing them slightly different. I wanted to give you more of a fresh update and, you know, show pictures again. But I wanted to go a little bit more in depth, and I'm also changing my weekly kind of weighing day from a Friday to a Saturday. The last time I did a weight loss diary was in March, the 29th of March. So that would have been my update for the week before. So like the 25th would have been the Saturday before. So the week before that, if that makes sense. And I just kind of briefly watched it to see how much I weighed. And at that point I said I weighed 11 stone and 7 pounds. So that was like, what, 2.5 months ago nearly. So I'd kind of talked about how my weight hadn't really changed that much. It was fluctuating quite a lot between December and March for months. I'm not going to go too in depth about this because I feel like I've spoken about it so many times, but in the middle of December I started taking the pill. I feel like part of me knew that I was probably going to gain weight, or knew that I was going to struggle with losing weight. It wasn't going to happen as easily, I suppose, or as, you know, nicely, and I wasn't going to see as many changes as I was when I started taking it. So I'd almost kind of prepared myself for that, and I almost knew it was going to happen. Plus the fact that around that time of year I wasn't feeling too great. It was the first Christmas that me and John hadn't spent together since we've had Brooke, and I felt like it was the first Christmas that she really understood what was going on and she was able to enjoy it. So I ended up spending about 2 weeks at my parents' house. So it wasn't a great start, and very slowly I'd got myself into this attitude of nothing's working for me because I'm on the pill. Yes, I experienced a lot of bloating, and it definitely changed like how I felt, like hunger wise, and just my mood in general. And obviously a lot of times people emotionally eat and things like that. So yeah, it was really difficult. Around, I would say, March, I'd gone back to the doctors and said that the pill I was on and the way I was taking it wasn't working for me. So they recommended that I take the pill back to back rather than having the week break in between. So I did that. And if anything, it made me worse. They also changed the pill that I was on as well. It made me worse. And I noticed a bigger fluctuation in my weight. And I was going up and down like 3 or 4 pounds, and then I'd go up another 3 or 4 pounds, and it was just too much for me. So I ended up going back to the doctors about a month ago and just explained to them what had been going on. The reason why they put me on the pill was for hormonal problems that I was having, and they were basically just trying to, they felt like I wasn't ovulating properly potentially or something like that, so they were trying to kind of regulate everything. Obviously this was just a guess based on symptoms I was having, which was quite frustrating, the way that, you know, it was that and my age as well, that they were putting it down to that more than that being an actual problem with me. So yeah, I went on the pill, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And eventually even my parents were kind of almost to the point where begging me to come off it, because they could just tell that I wasn't happy. I was in a mood all the time. As you can tell, I didn't film videos that often. I felt like every time I filmed a video I was upset. So about a month ago I went back to the doctors and they actually recommended me coming off it. Yeah, it was a bit frustrating. I honestly regret so much not going sooner and letting it go on for because it went on for 6 months, me being on it, and me, you know, I was just all over the place, taking it for like 3 packets at a time, 1 packet at a time, 2 packets at a time. It was horrible. About 3 weeks ago I come off it. Ever since then I have felt more normal, in a sense that I just feel like my body's just doing its normal thing of what it needs to do. I've not experienced any of the symptoms I was experiencing that put me on it in the first place. So I'm hoping that whilst I was on it, it treated whatever was wrong with me, or it just helped regulate things. I'm just going to have to see how it goes and just kind of go from there. I just want to have a fresh start, and just kind of do what I need to do to become healthy. When I first started doing it, I was kind of taking small steps. I was kind of bringing things in slowly rather than just jumping into things all at once, and it worked. I then started to try and do keto, and people still ask me if I'm on keto. I'm not, in a sense that I'm not really restricting my carbs as much as what you are supposed to when you're doing keto. I am obviously just not going all out on carbs in general, but I'm not having them like following keto. For me, long term, I just felt like it wasn't going to work. I didn't like how it was making me feel after being on it for so long, and then I really struggled with every time I'd eat carbs, I would just gain weight, or I feel like I would kind of binge out on them, and it was just really difficult. So yeah, I'm not doing keto. I don't think I would ever do anything that strict again. For me, it doesn't fit in my lifestyle, and I think you have to be realistic of what you can and can't do. I'm sorry, this video is probably going to be really rambly, but I feel like it has been a really long time since I've given a proper update. And to be honest, it's mostly because I just haven't been happy with what's been going on. I haven't been happy with what I've been doing, and it's just put me off sitting down and like telling you my weight and things like that, which in all honesty was very stupid of me to do, because it's definitely a big motivator for me to kind of like try harder and actually do things that give me results. So I do feel like I'm in a much better kind of mindset now. So yeah. So I weighed myself this morning and I was 11 stone, 13 pounds and 4 ounces. So I've put on about 6 pounds. The way I see it is, obviously if I would have completely binned it off for the last 6 months or a couple of months or whatever, I would have put on a lot more weight. I've clearly been trying somewhat, very like, you know, minutely hard at not gaining weight, and I have been being somewhat careful. Part of me thinks that, you know, obviously being on the pill for 6 months is going to do a lot to your body, so my body is going to take some time to get used to the fact that it's not on it anymore. So I do want to allow my body a chance to kind of get back to normal, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. The thing is I've just kind of fallen off the wagon a bit, and I've not been as careful of what I should be, and that's just the truth. I have still been to the gym pretty much on a regular basis. I don't think I've gone longer than a week, I'd say, without going and doing something at least. So that has definitely helped me out to not just gain all my weight back. So I could cry about it, to be honest. This morning especially, I did want to cry about it. I do still want to cry about it now, but you know, it's not going to change anything. I can't, you know, go back 6 months and have not gone on the pill or tried harder or things like that. And there's no point in kind of thinking about it too in depth when there's nothing I can do to change what's just happened, whereas I could focus on changing it for the next like month or 2 or whatever. It is what it is. When I weighed myself, I mean, I did go up more when I weighed myself last week, but I'm not going to, you know, praise myself for the fact that I've lost like 3 pounds this week already, because this is, you know, the fresh start now. So yeah, it does suck. Obviously, for me, I still bloat, and that obviously does affect your weight. And I would like to think that over the last few months I have gained a little bit of muscle, and obviously if I'm doing stuff to gain muscle but not doing the right things to lose the fat, then it's not going to balance itself out as maybe as it should be. Obviously I haven't gained like 6 pounds worth of muscle, but I would say that I am more muscly and stronger than what I was. Not, you know, very small, but I think it might make a pound or 2 difference, you know, I'd like to think anyway. So what I want to do is, rather than, I don't know if I'll do this every time, but particularly now because it's been so long since I've done one of these, I wanted to first of all show you pictures of the last time I took pictures, which was in March. So it's been about a month and a half. So I'll put them here. I'm going to be looking at them now so I can kind of go through them with you. I will say that I took these really early in the morning, and both of them, I'm wearing the exact same things. I feel like the angle's slightly different. I feel like the angle that I took the picture today is a lot more true to what I look like than when I took it in March. And I was standing a lot further back as well because the lighting was hitting so hard. So that can change how you look. Angles can completely change how you look. I wouldn't say that there's a huge difference between the two pictures. I feel like you can see where my waist kind of goes in a bit, and that's one thing that I found with me is that I naturally have a smaller, not small, but a smaller waist, and I feel like it shows quite quickly when I lose weight, which is one thing that I like. But then it definitely does make me look a little bit more pear-shaped because my upper body is still fairly small as well in terms of, like, you know, how muscly it is. This does also make me think that, you know, with the scales, I would still say you should use them as a guide more than what they are. I don't feel like I've, you know, put on nearly half a stone. I don't know if people think that I look like I've put on nearly half a stone. But I feel like the pictures show not a huge difference, which does make me feel a little bit better. My legs as well, I feel like the gap between my ankles and where my legs start to meet is a lot lower. I feel like that's probably to do with the fact that I have been doing some sort of, you know, like calf exercises, because I have noticed that my like ankles are a lot like not as, they have slimmed down a bit as well, so that's probably helped. So that's the front picture, and then with the side picture, again, I don't think that there's a huge difference. Like I say, the angle of the one today is a lot better. If anything, I'd probably say my stomach looks a little bit smaller, but very, very, very slightly. So that is the front picture. And, you know, it could be the lighting, but I think that all here in the older picture, it looks a lot more like flabby, I guess, but then in the new picture it doesn't. I feel like my arm looks smaller, especially like here in the second picture. I do feel like my bum has gotten a bit bigger, I will say. And then this is the back picture. It's more the fact that it shows more true in the latest picture of what I actually look like, whereas the older one is a bit more difficult. I think I need to start getting John to take my kind of behind pictures, because the fact that I'm kind of stretching over is a little bit more difficult to see what's going on. So yeah, they are from March until now. In terms of obviously when I begun, this is where it really starts to make me realise, you know, that I should appreciate the fact that, you know, I don't look like that anymore, because I was so unhappy when I was at that weight. You can definitely see that I actually have a waist more now than what I used to do. You can just see like the roundness of my stomach, which, you know, was very difficult. My legs haven't changed a huge amount, I don't think. It is more like my stomach, and you can kind of see it in like my shoulders and my arms as well. Annoyingly, I didn't have like I should have had my arm down when I took the first picture so that you could have seen like what all of this looked like, but I didn't. That's okay. So that's the front picture. And then the side picture, this I think kind of shows definitely for like my stomach. Again, I should have had my arm up so you could see all this. I didn't really think, and every time I kind of take a picture I almost forget the exact position I'm in arm wise. But you can kind of see, you know, completely how my stomach has changed. So that's definitely, you know, a positive. And you can see in this picture like my arm like fat, which I still obviously have arm fat, but I like to think that I've got a little bit more muscle definition than what I used to do in my arms. And then the back picture, which I think it's just the tightness of the shorts which really show in that. And that's about it really. I mean, the dip in my back is a lot more obvious in the latest picture than in the older picture. So there are all the pictures. I probably will just do like my very first picture and the current picture, but I think that it was a good, you know, good to kind of show how I've changed in a couple of months when I'm showing a weight increase, when I don't actually feel like that. Like I said, it is what it is. There's not really a whole lot I can do about it. I'm quite happy with what I've eaten so far this week as well. I think that I have been making some pretty good decisions in terms of, you know, the foods that I've been choosing. I spoke about the protein shakes, and I have like noticed that if anything, I do think that they're a little bit more of a hindrance at the moment. I want to focus more on what I'm actually eating as before I start introducing like meal replacement supplements. You know, the BCAAs and the pre-workout aren't really like meal replacements, whereas the protein shake is. So I just, for the moment, I am going to kind of forget about them. In terms of what I'm doing for workouts, I'm just sort of seeing what works for me. I really have enjoyed the things that I've been doing this week. I do think that, you know, they have worked my body hard, but I've been capable of doing them. And my dad's always kind of said to me just to be careful that I'm not putting myself under too much strain and trying to do things that I can't do. And I'd like to think that you can see that I'm struggling, which you should be somewhat struggling, especially when it comes to the last like 2 or 3 reps. But I can have like the form I need, and I'm hitting the muscles that I need to work as well. I feel disappointed in myself, I guess, in some ways, and I feel like I've probably let a lot of people down who were, you know, supporting me. But at the time, I think I was just so upset about how I was feeling, and, you know, focusing on things that I shouldn't have been focusing on when I should have been doing this, really. But my main goal is I just want to kind of lose body fat at a rate that I can lose it, and obviously in my mind I want to lose as much as possible, in a sense that, you know, I probably won't get to 9.5 stone by August. I think that it's a bit of an unrealistic goal, so I would just like to get as close as I can to that. I want to aim to lose between 2 and 3 pound a week, and if I can do that, then I'll be happy. Obviously I just want to see better results, and I'd like to think that now, you know, I've got no reason and I've got no excuse. So yeah, I did want to do my body fat and I did want to do measurements, but unfortunately I can't find my tape measure, and I don't know why, and for some reason this morning my scales would show my weight and then just, so that's a bit annoying, because then that probably would have given me an even better idea of whether or not I have actually just put on loads of body fat, or if it is water. Again, it's just a guide. I'm going to do a bit of housework until John gets home, and obviously I will show you what I have from Sainsbury's. I really fancy a gingerbread man as well. That is definitely one thing that I always find settles well with my stomach. I ate a lot of ginger biscuits when I was pregnant with Brooke, and anything that's like ginger flavoured I love. And I always find that it doesn't bloat me, and it's always a treat for me that works well, always. So if I have like a sweet tooth and I really fancy chocolate or like a biscuit or something, ginger biscuits for me always work. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with some housework, and then I will catch up with you some point later.
What? What are these called? These little pink. What are all these called?
Sprinkles?
No, they don't look like. They might be cubes. Pink little cubes.
Why do you always push your face on the side of food when you eat it?
When I can't, and then I can't do it.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are